Welcome to Flying Scotsman, the world's most famous steam locomotive. The other steam train you can drive in Train Simulator is the Goldsdorf 380. I'll use the Scotsman to teach you about steam locomotives, but remember that each locomotive is different. In this lesson, I'll walk you through each of the main controls and gauges. Then we'll move this train out of the station and onto the main line. As in all the tutorials in Train Simulator, I'll lock out the controls we're not using so we can focus on the task at hand. Now, let's get started. First, let's change to an external view so we can see the train from the outside. Follow the instructions written on the screen to change to External View 1. Well done. Let's move the camera a bit to get a closer look. Follow the directions written on the screen. She's a beauty, isn't she? Let's go back inside the locomotive now. The train driver, also known as the engineer, sits in the cab. Flying Scotsman is modeled as it was in the 1920s when the driver sat on the right. Take a moment to look left and right, then come back to this central view, which is the view you'll use to move the locomotive's controls. You can see that there are quite a few gauges and controls in this locomotive. Today we're going to focus on the most important ones. The reverser sets the direction of movement of the train. This is the reverser handle. You turn it to change the reverser setting, but don't turn it just yet, since we'll be standing in the station for a few more minutes. I've drawn a box around the reverser sector plate. It shows the current setting of the reverser. Notice that it's at 0. That means the locomotive is in neutral. It won't move backward or forward. When starting and stopping the train, use the reverser in its full open position with the sector plate reading close to full forward at the bottom of the sector plate or full backward at the top of the sector plate. Using the reverser in either of these full open positions is similar to a low gear. As the train gains momentum, move the reverser towards 0, similar to a high gear. This control is the regulator, which is the same thing as the throttle. It sets your speed. You pull it towards you to add power, or push it away from you to reduce power. Don't move the regulator now. We'll use it a bit later in this lesson. The regulator is similar to the accelerator in an automobile, and the reverser is similar to the transmission. You use the reverser and the regulator in coordination with each other. This is the speedometer. The Scotsman didn't have a speedometer in the 1920s, but we added this one to help you out. This is the boiler pressure gauge. It shows you how much steam pressure is in the boiler. The regulator and reverser we just looked at allow you to use the steam pressure